Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson.
Once again, you've found Santa Rosa Week, MediaCom Channel 27, 4:30 to 5 every Saturday. And of course, look right down here. You can watch all of our shows on YouTube. Continue. Once again, got an email. Another person in Tallahassee, Florida, told me how good the show was last.
Really?
the last show, and and also in your absence, I dropped off a show at MediaCom, and I asked our wonderful account manager, you know, for any kind of feedback, and she informed me that the person who typically fields the phone calls, that there's a lot of inquiring minds wanting to make sure they know when the next Santa Rosa Week show is going to be on. So you know, I think that's good. We're continuing to pound the pavement. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, about 85 to 90% of our material never shows up in the regular media. So
for whatever reason.
For whatever reason. So wanted to start with, you made a trip to Washington, D.C. Now,
yes, this is the reason we had the rerun last week.
Did you get the photograph with you holding up the no new tax sign?
No, I was actually too busy having a vacation to do that.
Okay, all right. Well,
so I owe you one.
I'll cut you some slack on that. So you were at the nation's capital.
I was.
And you were near the. There was quite a tragic event up there.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we were right down the street when that happened. We saw the helicopters and when they had the shooting at the Holocaust Museum.
Right.
It was pretty awful.
So did you? What did you learn in our nation's capital while you were there? Did you see?
We saw the Hope Diamond.
Well,
we did all the tourist stuff.
Right.
It was fun.
And you saw all the monuments.
Right.
You see all the monuments.
Well, we didn't see as many of those.
Did they have?
It's a lot of walking.
Did they have water back in the reflection pool?
Yes.
Really?
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Our last trip, no water. Apparently, they were working on the plumbing. So
you guys, you should have asked for your money back.
Well, it was free except for the travel money to get there.
Right.
So
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week, as you know, been reported in the media, our dreaded FCAT scores came out, and you know, to start out with, I don't think I'm the only one that wishes FCAT would go away.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting to me that when I was in school, we were taught by repetition. We were taught the material, and then we took a test. And the very people who were educated just as I was are the very ones who are in control of the education system now, who thinks it needs to be changed. Now, they're very successful. They've got their job. They've got their degree. But yet they think it needs to be done different. And, you know,
here's my problem with the FCAT. It's the same old problem that we always run into with the lack of transparency.
Right.
And that, well, no, you can't see it.
Well,
this test determines if your child goes to college, where they go to college,
right,
what kind of scholarships they get, etc., etc. And you, the parent, can't see the test.
Well,
and we can start with that on
this
the FCAT.
This certainly falls into the category, in my opinion, and certainly I believe in local control. You know, I think where everything runs amok is I don't know, I haven't seen the number lately, but $3 billion is spent from the federal government and through the Department of Education, and then we have a gigantic Department of Education in Tallahassee, Florida, with many little minions running around, and
there's a lot of shadowy stuff that goes on with this whole FCAT process.
Not only is it shadowy, it is just spersed with unfunded mandates.
Right.
Look, I spent a lot of time specifically at Milton High School. I know a lot of teachers, you know, talk to the principals, assistant principals. You know, and the one thing that I hear over and over is, well, we have to check this off. You know, we have to do this is our checklist that's being forced upon us, and we have to do this, and we have to count, and we have to keep this, and we have to keep that. And honestly, they are in a system where they're being mandated to do stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with Johnny learning 2 + 2 = 4. It's all about paperwork, and it's all about reams and reams and reams of paperwork that they have to do. And look, I don't have a problem with, absolutely, give the kids a test. All right? I'm okay with a certain level of standardized testing. But the FCAT, I think is an experiment that has gone awry. One of the things that you see, and folks, we're going to get into some actual numbers at Milton High School, but no matter what your grade your school gets, if the lower 25% of the students don't have a 50% increase in their scoring, it hurts the grade of the school.
If the lowest quarter of the students don't improve by at least, that's correct, by at least 50%, the school can, and this is what happened to Milton High. They're going to call it they didn't call it failing, they gave it a D. Right. Which is really ridiculous when you look at the overall performance of the school. Right. And we have the numbers here.
Yeah, and let's go over the numbers. And look, ladies and gentlemen, this is the actual numbers for Milton High School. So go ahead, Deborah.
When we got this from the Department of Education's website, this is the Milton High report. The percent overall of students at Milton High meeting high standards in reading was 51%.
Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention now. 51% of the student population at Milton High School is achieving high standards in reading.
High standards in math.
79% of the entire student population, 79%, scored high standards in math.
Which is outstanding in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
High standards in writing, 72%.
Once again, a very good number.
And it dips with science. High standards in science, 46%. High standards we're talking about. The percent overall making reading gains, so improving their reading score from last year to this year, is 50%. Right. Half. The percent that improved their math score from last year to this year, 71%. Right.
And look, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna get into a couple comments from a local elected official, which I take exception to. But here's a high school that's had a 71% increase in math gains. Yes. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yes. And 79% of them overall met high standards in math.
Right.
Of the lowest quarter of students, that lowest quarter, the number making learning gains in reading, so who improved, was 42%. Right. And of the lowest quarter, those who made learning gains in math was 50%. So half of the lowest group quarter still made gains in math.
And here's where the C went to a D, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
The 25% of the lowest group only increased. You know, and look, and I do my best to be a guy that's the glass half full rather than glass half empty. 42% of the kids that apparently in remedial reading, we had 42% of them had increases.